Hey guys, Ruby here with Unorthodox Aquatics, and I'm here to show you guys my little DIY redtail catfish nursery. So this little nursery, if you will, houses Jinx and Hammer, two of my baby RTCs, my redtail cats. And I just want to tell you a little bit about these guys in general before I go on explaining what I got going on here. These guys are South American, and they are long whiskered catfish. Those whiskers, they've got 6 pairs of barbels, or whiskers as they call them. These guys get huge. If you don't already know, these guys, they can live up to 20 years or so in captivity, maybe even more. They get over 5 feet long or so in the wild, and I guess I've seen them on average about 3-4 feet maybe at the largest in a home aquarium setting or aquarium pet store setting. A lot of these larger catfish, they end up in unsuitable environments because people can't take care of them due to their size or house them properly. These guys are sold readily in the aquarium trade, even just at as little as a couple inches when you first get them. But they can grow up to a foot longer even in the first year with proper care and diet. So a lot of them end up in unfortunate situations, unfortunately. You see these guys have those wide, broad heads and tapered tails. The dorsal and the tail fins are an astounding red, especially when reaching adult color potential. And you can also feed them supplemental food as well to improve coloring. Their tails are somewhat squared and forked, and their bodies are smooth and skin-like. They've got these just remarkable patterns, black or brownish on the top and white stripes on the side, and their eyes and their bellies are white also. They've got just really neat speckled coloration patterns. These guys eat a large variety of things. Anything from raw or frozen fish, shrimp. You can pellet train them. They'll even eat some vegetation, though they are mostly predators and prefer protein-based foods. You can even train with worms or live food as well. Basically, what happens with these guys, overfeeding can be an issue with redtails. And one of the things you can do, though, to remedy that is to, do a feeding, and just what you feed and how you feed will determine how much you will feed over time, gradually, to determine how much your catfish will eat or tolerate, and kind of gauge the behavior after you feed to determine when to feed next. What I mean is these guys can get a little sluggish and non-active after eating. They digest and then their metabolism slows down, but once they start picking up their activity again, they're probably ready for another meal. These guys can be trained to hand feed, and they're actually really quite personable fish. You can train them to become more friendly. Juvenile types of a lot of fish are often either easily spooked or scared when, in the beginning and earlier stages of life, but food association can curb that. if they have tank mates, they should be other large cats or other large fish. These guys can easily fit something half their body size in their mouth, and they can be known for eating non-aquarium, or not non-aquarium items, but you know, certain you know, rocks, substrates, or you know, parts or pieces of filters. So just making sure that you have the proper setup, preferably a bare bottom or sparsely substrate tank or pond for them. Tank sizes for these guys have to be very, very large. If you are going to get one of those little 2-inch juvie redtails, I would suggest doing nothing smaller than 120 gallon to start. Just to start, because you know, as popular as these fish are in the aquarium trade, you know, their housing can be you know, a little tricky and difficult. So, you know, you guys know me. I have my indoor pool ponds that I do and experiment with and things like that. So a lot of people are putting these guys in pool ponds as they become more popular and prevalent in the aquarist community. And also, I think also the pool pond with like either a DIY or simple homemade sump system is the best and most effective and cost effective as well DIY setup you can do for these guys that would give them the best life. So what I have going on here, this is about 150 or so, maybe a little more gallon hard pool, like a kiddie pool. Right now, this is the filtration that I started cycling it with a while back when I started. I think it was like early summer. I started cycling this pool with these internal canisters, or some would call them some sort of hob. And these are 50 gallon capacity, and then the sponge filter is 50 gallon as well. I have an air stone in there for added filtration, and a DIY sump that I plan to move in here from my garage for more permanent filtration for this setup. Since, holy shit, it is going to be a long winter, it looks like. So these guys really appreciate, you know, the proper tank setup, tropical temps, 70 to 75 I usually keep mine at for these guys. Some will tolerate large natural rock or decor wood, pieces of wood. They appreciate black water or, you know, water conditions that mimic their natural environment. And, you know, their eyesight isn't the best. And, you know, they do navigate and help find food with those barbels, their whiskers, as you would say. So, you know, dim lighting is also kind of preferred, since they have a little more nocturnal tendencies than diurnal. So I just threw in a couple pieces of chopped skin on thawed whiting. These guys really are accustomed to eating more in the dark, is when they like to come out. Also have some krill pellets. You know, I offer those to them as well, and they are rather shy eaters, but I am working on getting them more accustomed to me being around and feeding them. There you have it, guys. Thanks for joining me once again. This has been Ruby with Unorthodox Aquatics. Subscribe if you like, and otherwise, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Good night.